I got in the shore, and there was a little berm. I had two MG-42 machine guns shooting at me from opposite ends of the cliff, and they had me under fire. But that little berm's 6-8 inches tall. It was like a godsend for me. It was my protector. That's when I got a cigarette out of my pack that didn't get wet. I sensed someone to my left. So I said, "Buddy, have you got a match?" And I got no answer. So I turned. There was his helmet, but there was no head under the helmet. At that moment, it was like his soul himself was telling me, "Get up and go. Run right now to get off of that beach." So I got up and ran, and just it seems I got up. It's like I made this up, but both of those machine guns shut off for a few seconds or more, and I got running. And then they opened up again, and they were trying to catch up with me. I was 5'10" tall at that time. I weighed 120 pounds. And I'm thinking, boy, those Germans, they don't know how to even shoot at a toothpick. But I made it to the cliffs, safe. A miracle. It's one of the miracles of my life. The sounds were. It was like somebody was shooting firecrackers, and a whole bunch were shooting. All big booms, small booms. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the craziest thing is, I'm sitting here talking to you about my experience. I am the only one left out of all those guys I was with. They've all gone on. And this can't last forever. In less than 2 months, I'm going to be 101. I don't have an ache or pain in my body. I'm blessed. I truly am blessed. You put a move on, and they have to try to catch up with you. You don't let them catch up. I could move pretty fast at that time. Quite a difference from right now. We're coming off of the beach. You don't run up the bluff. That's when you're off the beach. And then that's when the Germans are shooting at you from the back too. And when we got to this ravine that we were going to use to get up off the beach, that ravine was filled with barbed wire by the Germans. We had to get pipes that were filled with blasting material, and my golly, I forgot the name of those. But they plug into each other, so we run some of those blasting pipes up there, and while they were running those up there, 3 of those guys were killed there by the Germans. And then when they blew that barbed wire out of there, it opened up for the rest of us, and we got up. The Germans just cleared out. Once we got through and got up behind them. They just left. After they left, I found Lieutenant Colonel Pratt, and we started to set up the command post. What was I thinking? I don't remember. I remember setting up the command post. I don't remember doing it. I just remember it's done. And I was, at the end of the day, it was about 7:15. I realized I was digging a foxhole along with Corporal Madison Rich. And he was digging his foxhole. We were going to sleep. I found a litter that hadn't been used. So I dug my foxhole a little bit longer. So I put that litter in the bottom. And then if I put my sleeping stuff on that top, that litter was protected from the moisture. It was canvas. At 7:15, somebody hollered from the command post, "Sergeant Larson, Colonel Hill wants to see you right now." So I goes in. Colonel Hill is a full bird colonel. He and I worked on the invasion together, so he got me in. He says, "Sergeant," he says, First Army wants me to keep G3 open 24 hours a day." He says, "You're going to run the night shift." I said, "Starting when, sir?" He says, "Starting right now." It was 7:15. So I went back and told Corporal Rich, I says, "Matty," I says, you can sleep in my foxhole now. I got that litter in there." He says, "Jake, I got my fart sack all ready here. I'm beat. I'm going to bed." So he laid his M1 Garand rifle on my litter. He went to sleep. I went to work at midnight. The Germans sent over a plane to find out what we were doing. So they lit up the whole thing with flares and took pictures out. Well, that aggravates our gunners from that shoot the big guns at the planes. So they started shooting up at the plane that was flying around there and taking pictures. And then that died off, and I'm supposed to be operating G3 at night. I don't remember anything else except that plane flying over and all the guns going off and shooting. And the next thing I knew, I was being relieved. It was 7:30 in the morning. So I walked over to Madison Rich. He picked up his rifle off of my litter, and it broke in two. A piece of shrapnel that they had shot up at that German airship came down and hit that shrapnel laying on my litter. God, there is a God. How is it possible? Those Garand rifles were 8 pounds. They were a solid machine. That had to be hit just perfect in order to break apart. See, I got through the invasion without a scratch. And this, how come I wasn't on that litter? How come I was picked to go and operate G3 that night? I don't remember doing anything, but I was there, and it saved my life. It's crazy. It's plain crazy. It caused me to write a book. And the name of that book is The Luckiest Man in the World. Who in the world would ever write a book like that? The luckiest man in the world? Look, I'm telling you, after I joined the Army, National Guard, at 15, for the money, that was $12 every 3 months I'd get. But it was like money from heaven. Then I got the experience. We were like soldiers. We were ready for war when it came. It was these youngsters that grew up carrying rifles, being able to shoot them, and not being afraid to give their life. There were so many that gave their life, and it's my duty to honor those guys. I'm here today to tell these stories, and what an honor to serve with these people. Every one of those guys, they're the heroes. I'm not a hero. I'm just relating what I did. And we're trained to do this. Every one of us, we're trained to do this. So those guys that have passed on, they're the real heroes. They're the ones I talk about. They made it possible for me to get through by giving their life.